Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Lux Saigon Podcast. In this episode, we have my bro, Dylan. We've been good friends for a few years here in Saigon, and now finally he's here on the podcast. Dylan is a content creator who usually shares his thoughts about politics, current events, and just his thoughts on the world. In this conversation, we're going to talk about enlightenment and relationships, and then we'll try to see if those two intertwine at any place. This is actually a great conversation, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. Alright, so what up, guys? I'm here with my bro Dylan. We're gonna do our first podcast interview finally. After how many years?
Many.
Many years. Cool. And our topic for today is we have two topics. We got enlightenment and healthy relationships, and then how they intertwine with each other. Cool. So how do you feel about this conversation?
I feel overwhelmed because, the topic could have a large scope, or it could find direction.
Also, you've been making content recently too, right? Like, how do you feel about making content these days?
I feel like it's an interesting journey to see what I have to say. And I think there's a lot to uncover through holding a monologue about thoughts.
Do you ever go back and listen to your old videos?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go back on the video and kind of figure out where I was through those thoughts. Like, what was I feeling? What brought me to those thoughts? It's often something like a situation that would kind of spark a conversation with myself about something that might not even feel exactly related, but will kind of bring up something within me to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like kind of shy and scared to see my first podcast episode.
Yeah.
I think I sound like an insane person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I sound like an actual insane person. Yeah. I'll double check that you. Oh yeah, you're perfect. Cool. Yes, okay. Here you go. Alright, sweet. Okay, so our first question that we have here. Okay, so the first topic is enlightenment. And the topic actually is, what is enlightenment? So the first question is, if all your thoughts went silent right now, what would still be here?
I believe if all of my thoughts were silent, I think only the void would exist.
The void.
Yeah, only reality in itself would exist. I think it's just like a sensual experience, in that you're just absorbing this moment completely, absent of any kind of mental content to define how to feel or sense this moment.
This question kind of feels like, what is consciousness? Yeah, I don't know. I know it's hard to answer that question. What comes to your mind first? What is consciousness?
I think it's about senses, which is also kind of peculiar, given that certain people hold senses that are not. Say somebody becomes blind, and you can understand people's senses shift in regard to how they operate through those, say, disabilities. And so consciousness might be understood in my mind as this moment.
Oh yeah, I just the present.
Just the present. Yeah. And that's all it really. I mean, I don't have access to what consciousness means to others. It's simply, I think it's outside of like that mental content. Like, we do have our senses, but it's experience absent, I think, definition. It's just this moment happening. It's like a present continuous.
Yeah, right, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It feels like a live stream. And I can't turn it off.
Yeah. And when you just sit back through the live stream, like, absent the stories that I think the void in yourself holds on to, in almost a sense of desperation, then it's almost something pure. It just feels like what is. It just feels like it's an ongoing moment. Yeah.
True. It's made me wonder, like, why do we have so many thoughts?
As a survival strategy.
That makes sense, actually.
I think thought was produced to resolve, survival issues as an organism in relationship with other life entities or organisms.
I feel like if we were like a hunter-gatherers or cavemen again, then those thoughts could literally save our lives.
Yeah, they
probably... There's a tiger behind that bush. Oh shit.
Yeah. So then we would often, thought would be useful to conceptualize strategy to survive, right? How do I find food? How do I find shelter? How do I reproduce myself? How do I... so there's this thought that becomes a tool towards reproducing oneself and one's conditions in the best way possible. So I think that's the origins of thought.
I wonder how humans felt when they first became self-conscious. 'Cause, like, other animals are just like alive and just doing their thing. But I wonder how the first human felt when he's like, wait, I'm alive? What am I?
I think, right, some probably people like Krishnamurti would probably say something along that, like, that was probably the first misdirection.
Oh, really?
Was like then creating an image of oneself as like, this is the me now. Oh, I'm something solid.
Answering the question, who am I? I must be this thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It goes from like a tool towards, I suppose an ends, like and then I have to figure out who I am. And through that journey, then I'm going to complete something.
But now that I think about that, it's like, I want to find out who I am by using my tool. But I am the one using the tool. So how is the tool going to help me find out who I am? It feels like asking a light bulb, like, what's electricity? It's like, well, let me turn on my light bulb and find out. It's like, wait, I can't find the source of this electricity.
It becomes, right, like, eventually we move from, I think, thought towards then, like, language, right? And then from language we move from then writing as well, kind of attempting to kind of work towards solidifying something about what is reality.
That's crazy. It's like, what is reality? Well, it's not whatever I think it is.
Yeah, usually you end up in like a... If you keep going with any story about what the experience is, you end up in gaps or logic falters to kind of completely contain any, I think, experience in a complete or holistic way that makes you feel satisfaction in like an ongoing sense.
Mm-hmm.
So then from those gaps you start to recognize like the inconsistencies with holding or grasping onto it as I think, a final destination.
Yeah. I guess they would say like, oh, you want to find out what enlightenment is? Like, well, you won't find it in books. You got to go find out for yourself.
Yeah.
Which goes to this next question: is enlightenment something you achieve or something you stop interfering with?
I think it's hard to say. Like, I feel like it's like you want to say in some sense, and part of me is like, you need a reflection. Like, you can use the tool of thought to work towards like awareness, if we're going to kind of define enlightenment within a frame of awareness. But reflection seems to kind of hold a necessity within it. Something like how the belief that through, say, trauma work or we have understood that it can provide people with a sense of alleviation of some kind of symptom. So to define it as a destination, like, okay, I need to read so many books, and once I've read all the books, then I'm going to achieve enlightenment or proper awareness, kind of misses the mark. Like, it goes back into seeking destinations and seeking final outcomes that are attempting to maybe save yourself from something, like an emptiness or a pain. But I believe it's more just it's process. Like, I think you have to reflect and then act, and then reflect and then act, working in tandem, and not getting lost in any of those two things. If you're just
I feel like many people have shared the analogy of like seeking enlightenment is like the fish swimming around the ocean looking for water.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you tell the fish, hey dude, you're in the water, it's like, no, this is the ocean, I'm looking for water, bitch.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so if you came across that fish, what would you do?
I would say to that fish.
Yeah. If you meet a fish in the ocean, he's like, hey, I'm looking for water.
I would probably like just to like tell them to like reflect on, like, then just open their eyes, essentially. Not even in the sense of just be present and try to witness the world around you. To recognize where you are.
Cool.
In some sense. Yeah.
It's like, hey fish, look around. And he's like, what? Like, what?
Yeah. But I don't think it's even for the fish to kind of expect something, which is missing the point. I think it's just that the fish will realize when they realize what they were supposed to know.
And the funny thing is that people usually realize after they've like, no, I'm going to keep looking for it. I'll do whatever it takes. And they do it for years to the point of absolute burnout. Yeah. And then when they're burnt out and just like lying on the ground, then they're like, oh shit. When they're too tired to keep seeking.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's with any, like, destination that people are seeking. That, like, I think we need challenges. We need goals. But to believe that the outcome is going to match or make us feel complete or whole is going to end up in disappointment or just a sense of lack of something that you assumed would come from that, from that, a goal or achievement.
It feels like some things are realized in stillness.
Yeah, I think it's true. Because if you think about anything, once you go back to stillness, we have so many emotions that are moving through us at every moment, and when we have pain, or when we have hope, or when we have excitement, we can relish in those good emotions and also go back to this moment when those painful ones come back to us and alleviate in some sense an intensity from them, recognizing that they are not us, but rather a part of us, and maybe the us is like consciousness itself, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's a weird question. Number 3 says, what are you still afraid to lose that makes enlightenment feel dangerous?
What am I afraid to lose?
I know my bad
that
habit.
Makes enlightenment feel dangerous.
You know my bad habit.
What am I afraid to lose? Well, this goes back to, I don't know if we completely, like, whenever I think of enlightenment, it's sorry to like digress, or I just want to shift the location of focus. Is like, what are enlightenment, and what is it? What are we expecting through enlightenment? Which it wasn't.
Enlightenment has the word light in it, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like clarity.
Yeah, like N, I think is a positive movement.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if it comes from enervate, but I know it's like a prefix of positive movement towards some light, and light being
endeavor.
An endeavor.
Engineer?
Yeah.
Engine? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving towards something.
And moving towards something.
Yeah.
So from that, then we get all of these, what I feel sometimes is like rigid definitions, and then kind of misdirections when we organize kind of a binary state that moves from non-enlightenment to like enlightenment, which is like sometimes what we witness, and I witness within popular discourse around enlightenment is like, okay, if you just follow the rule set, you're going to achieve the location, and I think that's not as misdirecting people into a certain form of becoming that's often leading them back into the same loops.
Wait, are there any people in history you would consider enlightened?
It's hard to say. I think there are people who, I think it's a matter of following a path. It's like holding focus towards the direction, which means like, and holding faith in that pathway. And then the stories come up, and that's what kind of brings up suspicion, is when we get these elaborate stories about, say for example, reincarnation, or goal sets on the good life, and that kind of misalign people because it becomes structured and sometimes rigid and dogmatic, that dilutes what enlightenment is about. So I think people, well, I'm not in agreement, of course, with like a lot of people who follow it toward enlightenment, how they organize a structure, a story around it. I still follow them in the kind of middle, in between of their journey, which is something I find interest in and faith in. Yeah.
Well, so do you feel that if you gained a bunch of clarity right now, would you lose something that you wish you could keep?
Well, I think the question is a bit suspicious.
Why?
Because it's assuming that, like, if I go to enlightenment or I achieve something, that I've already maybe had a moment where a loss occurred.
Yeah, would you have to let go of something?
I think often through the journey of enlightenment that there is a necessary letting go of like that. It's I think when we're working towards dissolving something, and we might hold on to, say, we can say dissolving of like the stories, like we can have stories that hold us up and hold us down, and I think through that journey we're gonna necessarily have to dissolve a sense of understanding of ourselves and the world, both the good ones and the bad ones. So there is, like, in some sense, a loss of innocence of a world that you held together, that made you feel comfortable in it, even if, and in some sense, those stories weren't always good stories either. So yeah, I think through the journey there is unnecessarily like a loss of an attachment to thought that could feel like abandonment, because it's not holding on to something comfortable that you once used to keep you moving through your life.
Okay, yeah. That reminds me of during my journey, one of the things I had to let go of was the belief that I can only find true happiness in romantic relationships. And I felt that my mind didn't want to let go of that. That was painful. And it felt scary. It felt like similar to heartbreak.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that shit isn't how to be happy? And I was like, oh my God. And I felt like pretty terrible for a few hours.
Yeah.
Because that was my goal. My goal was like, one day I'm going to find the perfect girlfriend. And I'll finally be happy, bro. And then realizing that's not how it works. And it was painful to accept that.
Yeah. And I think, like, the ghosts of that part of you, like, they haunt you.
They could still be lurking.
They lurk. Like, I think this is why I call it's more of like a process or journey. It's something that you're always moving towards, because, like, I think the mental content of that experience lives with you, and, like, part of the journey is awareness, right, of those stories, that they come back whenever that emptiness or lack of experience comes up through mood in a negative sense, and a desire to fill that void.
Yeah.
That part of you who wants to fill that would then hold on to an idea like of a partner or an object or an achievement that would finally resolve something, which might get complicated with trauma, because then there might be a traumatic impact in a person that might disrupt even the void and actually create real problems. So that might need to be investigated to prevent you from reenacting trauma in your own life. Yeah, say in the sense of an abusive relationship, and a part of you is still passionately attached to something through that moment, right? Which is kind of the confusing parts about being a living thing, is we assume we only attach to the good, but we also attach to pain as well. So
it's whatever's familiar. Yes.
Yeah, some sort of familiarity. Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to the relationship portion, and okay, wow. The topic is, what is a healthy relationship? And the first question is, do you want to be loved, or do you want to be seen clearly, even when it's uncomfortable?
I think the idea of being seen clearly is a lie.
It does sound pretty tough, considering everyone has their own perspective of reality.
Yeah. If you go from the standpoint that we don't actually have access to another person's world, we're having to regularly kind of work through our interpretations of others, then to try to seek a person who gets us in like a clear, kind of thoughtful way might be misdirecting ourselves towards something. And this kind of goes from like my own perceptions of relationships, and it seems like, right, they kind of when they do form, they're kind of already chosen in some sense. And I'm not saying reality is completely, it's not a deterministic thing. I don't believe it's completely deterministic, but there is something that kind of goes beyond the thought, right? The thought then is like, I'm seeking the person who's going to finally get me. But then we can recognize that seeking doesn't bring us really what we desire.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a good insight. It's a good insight.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, going back to the fish again. Looking all over the ocean.
Yeah. The fish believes that it knows where to find what it wants.
Yeah.
And
I got this map. I'm following the map.
Yeah, if I follow the map, then I'm gonna finally achieve like the thing that I've always wanted. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so if to be seen clearly is not doable, then do you want to be loved?
I do want to be loved. I think like there is like that kind of like, it goes back to, in my perception, like the void, in the sense that like that people or others are willing to see you as you are, not within their fantasies, like of what they desire, because the fantasies, I believe, are usually distortions. They're kind of organized around a kind of comfortable, positive idea of another person, and then we work to avoid the nasty, ordinary aspects of others that we have to bear, which I think is gonna lead, which is misdirecting us towards actually what people are, and they're complicated, messy beings. And I think I go back to it where it's like true love is probably seeing how those parts would make up your sense of love for that other person as well. And that's recognizing too that like with that whatever person you do find in your life, there's always going to be misalignments in some sense, and finding reconciliation through like parts of that other person that might not appear so desirable is just part of being alive.
Oh yeah, wait. I was gonna ask you, what would it look like to love someone? Like, would you want to change that person or leave them as they are?
Leave them as they are. I mean, a part of it would be if it's dangerous,
Right.
if it's violence, if there's some kind of blockage in their sort of being. It could be a trauma, or it could be a habit that's destructive in some sense to your well-being. And then recognizing that we can't fix people. We can support people through their awareness of violence, but we have to allow others to be as they will be, and work, hold faith that they're going to resolve whatever is outwardly destructive or inwardly destructive towards well-being.
And let's say, like, if you had a friend that was, like, harming himself or herself, and you wish they would change that, and then after they finally change that and they stop harming themselves, would you love them more, or is love just love?
I think love is just love.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more or less. It's just, I would just love them as I've always loved them.
Exactly. It wouldn't change.
Like, I think, like, in the sensual sense, this is like when it's toxic, it's just like my being is pushing away from them, but my consciousness still loves them in some sense. I think there's a core, right? Like when we say consciousness, there's a core to the other person that resonates with us, but our biological being in the defensive sense doesn't allow that, so we need to then recognize our own biological needs, our well-being to that other person.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. This is assuming you have a partner right now. And the question is, where do you subtly try to control the other person instead of meeting them?
I think I have a tendency to attempt to control how others think.
They stink?
Think.
Oh.
If I just reflect on my tendencies or habits, I try to assume that I hold a better idea of reality than they do, which is a habit.
Okay,
it's not. I don't believe in it because
Yeah.
I don't know what others' process is, nor why they're here. So I don't. But my habit is to, I think, like, kind of sustain a dynamic of dominance intellectually over others. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Kim Jong-un in the movie Team America. It's like, I wish everyone was more intelligent, like me. Cool. I want to answer this too. Wait, yeah. How do I try to control my partner? Maybe there's just some things that I still keep private to myself. I don't share with my partner. Maybe that's it. Yeah. That's what comes to mind first. Just out of being embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I'll do my best to end those habits. Yeah. Alright, number 6. Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, they're following along exactly what we're saying. Number 6 says, can you let someone be exactly who they are without turning them into your project?
Yes. I think part of like holding awareness is the habits of trying to, in my perspective, like contort people to an idea of them that makes you feel comfortable, which consequentially has the possibility of leading to abuse. So it's recognizing those patterns so that they don't manifest towards overriding others' ability to be themselves. So you can see it through response and reaction. And as a survivor of like physical abuse in a relationship, I had to work through like my own sense of self through that abuse to see that I was contorting myself to make sure that that other person was not triggered. Yeah. So it wasn't, yeah.
Kind of performing or something?
Yeah, performance around triggers. Yeah.
I can't, like, with this question, like, can you let someone be who they are without turning them into your project? And I think about, like, some of my past relationships.
Yeah.
I was like, why aren't you evolving the way I expected you to? I'm disappointed in you. And that was me saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just learned from a lot of mistakes what not to do in my next relationships.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the overlap questions. Where do they overlap? Enlightenment and relationships. Okay, yeah, do you have anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, like I think when you're able to say you're acting through reflection, you're able to hold more, and that's also holding conversation with others about and being vulnerable about your own life, to repair or resolve some of those aspects of yourself that are not working for you or others. And so awareness and enlightenment, I think, go hand in hand with seeing others as they are, rather than the idea of who you want them to be. Similar to yourself is like, we might want to hold an ideal, and I think ideals are almost like they're just a part of being alive, but it's when it's completely captured, I think, and dishonors other being or our being, that ends up becoming a problem. So working towards just recognizing others as they are. Yeah.
Cool. The first question here is, if there's no fixed self, who exactly is in the relationship? Because enlightenment is loss of your sense of self, right? So if there is no fixed self, who is in the relationship?
I think it's like a multitude of selves. It's the self that comes up at every moment. I think we're, in some sense, mirrors to each other if we work away from the idea of a solid self, and then, which in my belief is like a multitude of selves that find each other through others, that we're simply living through all these selves that see resonance in each other. And I think this goes back to why we feel a fault in attempting to find others that we can confess or speak all within, is then to recognize that there's just parts of ourselves that hold resonance with others, and then there are parts of ourselves that hold resonance with others outside of that other. So then other things or other conversations will be more comfortably held with others rather than a primary partner. So then that's also working to dissolve the idea that like a primary partner is going to complete us or be the perfect space of confession or vulnerability, and allow us to be more open with a whole scope of others in our world. Yeah.
If everybody is an individual expression of the universe, then I feel like, then is a relationship just the universe banging itself?
I think so. It's just this, it's cyclical. It's a weird paradox. It's like we live in this thing of like reproduction, but violence in the same sense that life holds friction against other forms within it. Yeah, which is this is thing about reality. That's what it is.
That's the real black hole.
That's the real black hole.
Okay, here it says, does awakening, okay, whatever, enlightenment, whatever, labels, does awakening make you love people more or need them less? I don't know if I'd like that question.
Yeah, this is going back to binaries about more and less. I think that's kind of misdirecting the point.
Or maybe just, does awakening make you love people more?
Yeah, I think it takes me out of my own head and my own self. I think growing up and what I was fed and what I was understood about myself is I was like a whole complete being. And I just needed to find myself and improve myself and educate myself until a moment when I was finally going to be in a partial sense of completion, if I just followed things as they should be followed. And then once I've been able to recognize the stories behind that teaching, then it actually brought me closer to others because I could recognize myself in others. And I wasn't so self-reliant. I was so dependent. I was so necessarily needing others and as they needed me in order to build a world that was livable, even through the frictions of being like consciousness separate. So there is a connection, but we are embodied in different, like we are different bodies, right? So we have to recognize or reconciliate that separation.
Do you think in the future awakening will make you need people less?
Maybe in the sense of like expecting like others to know something. Like in the absolute sense of emptiness or lack or voidish part of being alive. So I think that it makes me less dependent in a toxic sense, that I'm not, say, holding on to others and that they have something secret that will complete me. If I just hold on to them.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like this is so trippy. I feel like I've had this conversation before. It's like deja vu. It's kind of trippy. Yeah, it kind of feels like during this journey you will love people more and just have more to share. So you still enjoy hanging out with people.
I still enjoy hanging out with people. I know, but I wouldn't also say I'm like enlightened. I'm just on a journey where I resonate with like this journey. Given my life experiences, like it just makes sense and how I've found ways to survive.
And I think there's something key in here. It says, does awakening make you love people more? And Dylan counts as one of those people.
Yeah. I think I think it's opened up love into my life, yeah, in a way that's, like, I don't want to make it overly romanticized, because I think there's a part of being a living creature that we have to tolerate, right? And so recognizing that part of being alive that is hard and difficult, but seeing through towards love as a necessary survival strategy, and also a key towards, I think, flourishing and well-being collectively, as a wonderful thing.
How does it feel to like visualize yourself with a group of friends, and just the vibe that you have is just making everyone feel chill as fuck, without you having to do anything, like just by you being there,
Yeah.
people are just chilling.
That's great. Like, without grasping, without
Yeah.
enforcing, without controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also bringing you towards enlightenment, or towards awareness that we don't need to control everything around us. We don't need to control situations. We can observe when things are working and when they aren't, in ways that are outside of an unnecessary need to control events. So you can just hold grace, or you can hold gratitude towards the situations in your life that feel harmonious, because I think that's consciousness. That's back to holding awareness to the moment. Yeah.
Okay, the final question. It's such a weird question, dude. Is a healthy relationship two complete people, or two illusions learning to relax?
Okay. Two illusions learning to relax.
It could be both at the same time.
Yeah, it could be both, because I think there's a trace of us knowing something about this experience. Like, there's something knowable about being alive, else we'd probably be dead. But on the other end of it, it's while we focus and hold on to the trace, it's always dissolving. It's never for us to completely hold on to this experience. It's a part of accepting death. It's that everything is a movement, and it's living through that, honoring our consciousness as much as we can, and that of others through it as well. Yeah.
When I think of this question, like, is a healthy relationship two complete people, or two illusions learning to relax? I think about that the feeling of being complete, like even though we are already complete, the feeling might not be consistent. At least for me, I'm not consistently feeling complete. I'll shift into incomplete every now and then. And it feels like the more like awakened someone is, it's just the more consistent they feel complete.
Yeah. Yeah, that they can just let things be as they are.
Exactly. Yeah. I wonder how it would feel to be complete 24/7, like to feel it. Because apparently we already are.
Yeah.
But we forget.
Yeah, we forget. I think it's a journey, almost necessary.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're going back to the fish again.
The fish, yeah. Yeah.
The journey of the fish.
The journey of the fish, and just holding awareness of what it is and what surrounds it.
If this is the journey of the fish, then do you realize how to feel completeness? How to realize completeness?
How to realize completeness?
If this is the journey of the fish.
Yeah.
Right? How to realize completeness?
I can only go back into what's helped me is like through my own suffering and pain, and recognizing the complexities of being alive that that has brought me towards some kind of idea of completeness, that like once we can accept our vulnerability through this, then we're kind of the completeness is like allowing it all to be as it will be, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And then getting that experience of the radical nature of being. Yeah.
So if the fish stops seeking the ocean to realize the ocean, how does the human realize completeness?
I don't think it's a thing.
But it's the journey of the fish.
Yeah, it's a journey. So like it's accepting whatever you're moving through. Like if that fish is gonna move through.
Okay.
Like it might be, say, like as a fish is under constant alert of predators. Like it's just the reality of being a fish. And then like it's already, or it will eventually need to reflect and process on that reality in order to like persist, in order to move through that. That's part of the journey. As what humans do is like we might read or we might hold conversations about our survival and recognizing the truths of being alive and endurance it requires, and also holding space for the good things that we allow or that are allowed through this experience as well.
So then, okay, I feel like I'm looking for a short answer. It's like, what did the fish have to do to realize he's already in the water?
What do you have to realize?
He's been swimming around the ocean looking for water.
Yeah.
What did he have to do to realize the truth?
That this is all there ever was.
Yes.
That this is it. That this is.
Yes.
This is what this is. Yeah. And in the same sense of fishes doesn't. I can only. There's no like story world in the sense I'm assuming of what we share with other humans. So it's just simply awareness of oneself.
Right.
Yeah.
So if someone has been seeking completeness, what should they do? Or not do? Either one is fine.
To let go of the attachment.
To what?
To just be here in this moment.
I thought you said attachment to the journey.
Well, I mean attachment in the toxic sense that if it's strenuous, if it's believing that it's going to bring you something that's going to resolve something in your life in a way that's going to be, it's going to feel complete, but it's just sitting with your feelings and sitting with yourself.
Yeah.
And reflecting on what is working and what isn't working. Yeah, and not trying to escape those feelings. Or not trying to cover them up.
Or just feel everything.
Just feel everything, and then try to be like, this moment isn't forever if it's painful, and then holding gratefulness when they are good as well.
I got that too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're almost to the answer that I want. Like I want to match it up with the fish story.
Yeah.
So like, for the fish to realize water, he stops seeking water. For the human to realize completeness, he stops
seeking completeness.
Exactly.
Yeah, stop seeking a destination. It's just like getting away from the thought of an out there that's going to resolve something, and
exactly.
Just looking around oneself for what is around.
Yeah.
For oneself. Yeah.
Now it seems like incompleteness is just an opinion.
Now what?
It feels like incompleteness is just an opinion.
Yeah.
Or a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like that.
Sick. Yeah, do you have anything else you want to add, or?
Not really. No, I think that was an interesting conversation about enlightenment and relationships.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
This is my first episode on relationships, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just shifted out. Like, when I first started coaching, I wanted to do spiritual coaching. No one gave a fuck.
Uh-huh.
I changed to a mental health coaching, and nobody trusted me. I'm not a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I changed to relationship coaching, and suddenly like, oh, can you help me with my relationship? And we're having good conversations, like this one.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stick with the relationship coaching label for now, and it's bringing awesome conversations into my life. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, bro. On to the next one.
Okay.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Cool. That was about an hour.